Welcome back. Ever since we first saw these lads right here, the Sekhetar Robots, they have been absolutely bugging the hell out of me, because these, to my eye, do not look right. And the thing is, even after a week of working on other videos that you'll see really soon, hopefully, it's been a very busy week, but you've not seen anything from me, it's fine, we get round to stuff eventually. These have been in the back of my head the whole time, because there is something about them that just does not sit properly with me, and I cannot for the life of me work out why. And the thing is, I've gone over it quite a lot. Like, this has become a very weird sort of obsession where I'm like, I must discover why I do not like thing. It's not just a case of, yeah, I just don't like it. I don't think it's that, because actually there's stuff about them that I quite like, and the initial reveal, I don't really know how I felt. I thought they were interesting, I guess, but they never really grabbed me after that, and they have just gone on to become this weird enigma of, why don't these models look right? Why don't they suit what they're supposed to suit? Why is it that there is something about them that every time I look at them, a little part of my brain goes, yeah, but it just doesn't look right, does it? See, it's very simple and very easy to sit there and go, yeah, I just don't like it, because there are quite a few models like that. There are things that Games Workshop have revealed where I've just looked at it and gone, absolutely not. Nope, just not feeling it. And that's fine. That's just a taste thing. But when it's something like this, when it's something that I just can't put my finger on, and I also can't fully attribute it to just, I just don't like it, that's where I start to, like, wonder, is there something fundamental about this that my brain has decided is wrong? Not bad in terms of my taste, but actually physically incorrect. Because that's what it feels like. Now, there's a few different possibilities, right? There's the fact that they're quite tall and skinny. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it could be that that doesn't quite match up with other examples of things from the Adeptus Mechanicus. Except, these aren't Adeptus Mechanicus, they're Chaos. They're also robots, which makes things a little bit tricky. They do have, like, design features that you'd expect to see from Imperium tech, but we don't necessarily know that they are Imperium tech. There's a little bit of the Ironkin going on with the helmets there, but those are also fairly appropriate for the stuff that the Adeptus Mechanicus uses. The big robots, the Castellax, whatever they're called, Castellan, either way, they've got a similar vibe to that, but the bodies are very, very different. They also have a little bit of Men of Iron about them, but that also doesn't really feel like it's the root of what they are. Even from other angles, they just don't quite look right, and I can't work out why that is. It could be that the back of them is kind of featureless and bland, if we're being honest. Like, there's a lot of just stuff painted black back there. There's not much in the way of gubbins, or little gribbly bits, or, you know, extra cables, wires, control panels, rivets, anything like that. It's just a whole lot of, which maybe is influencing why I don't like them, or why they don't feel right, because there is a complete lack of detail compared to the front, where there is detail in abundance, primarily because the Thousand Sons have done them up all Thousand Sons like. We've got the stripes, we've got the, you know, vaguely Egyptian-esque thingies going all over the place, and sure, that kind of works to integrate them, but they also don't feel properly integrated, and that, for some reason, rankles slightly, but I don't really know why. Realistically, they've got design features that fit in with the Thousand Sons, especially the Rubric Marines and the Terminators, the Scarab Occult Terminators. Like, they do fit in, but of course they're markedly different by the fact that they're robots, and they're proportionally very, very different to anything else in that range. But then you wouldn't want them to look exactly like a Space Marine, so that isn't necessarily a problem. Plus, if we look at what the Thousand Sons have had access to in the past in terms of the Horus Heresy, we've got things like this, the Castellax Accia Automata, and that doesn't fit in with the rest of the Thousand Sons in the Heresy either. It fits in with Mechanicum, because that's effectively what it is. It's just got, again, a few scarabs, a few sort of vaguely ancient Egyptian-looking things on it, but realistically, that no more fits in with the Thousand Sons of the Horus Heresy than these fit in with the current Rubric Marines. So why is it that for some reason this feels more acceptable? Why is it that for some reason this feels appropriate where this kind of doesn't? I've been really genuinely racking my brain about this, because quite often I can identify if I just don't like a model because I don't like it, because, you know, flavour-wise or design-wise, it's not for me. This isn't that, because there's elements of them that I do like. I actually like the way that they've integrated the Thousand Sons stuff onto these. They look pretty cool. The shroud covering the head especially, love that, that's a great touch. The guns look pretty cool. And those missile pods coming up over the shoulders that mimic what you can get on the Terminators, like, that's great. That's a nice bit of callback design. That's really fun. The stripes across some of the armour, again, brilliant. But why don't they look right? Why don't they look like they fit? Even though thematically it works, because we know that the Thousand Sons used to have access to these in the Horus Heresy, and as such, them having a bit of robot extras going on is a nice kind of callback to that. Even though they've got the right trappings and they have the right overall vibe for the Thousand Sons, there's just something about them. And I think I've finally kind of worked out what it is that's bugging me, and I just need to know if I'm alone in this, or whether this is something that other people are also struggling with. There is something about the scale of these that just is indeterminable. Like, if I saw these in isolation, and I didn't see that they were part of Thousand Sons, or part of the 40k range of Thousand Sons, if that wasn't explained, and someone just dumped these in front of me, for some reason, I wouldn't know if these were for 40k, or whether they were for Legions Imperialis. I genuinely wouldn't know. There is something about the combination of, like, tall and skinny, and the, like, total lack of detail on the back, and just the overall structure, the overall pose, that makes it feel like these aren't robots for 40k, these are Titans for Legions Imperialis. I don't know why. I couldn't explain it to you why that is the case. I don't know whether it's because, like, they are quite tall and lanky, and the legs feel especially long, especially when you compare them to what we know the Thousand Sons previously had access to, which is very different design-wise, a lot more chunky, a lot more blocky. There's also just a lot more in terms of, like, width going on there. It's so far away from that structure and that overall feel that, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a case of almost being biased or poisoned against them in advance because of these, because of knowing that these exist, because of seeing these around and appreciating them as being kind of quite cool Thousand Sons flavoured automata. That's a very cool model. I like it a lot. Maybe there was never going to be a version of these specific ones where I looked at them and went, you know what, that absolutely, they've nailed it, that's brilliant. But for whatever reason, these specifically, they just don't feel like they're the right scale. They feel like they're a different size to everything around them. Which, I don't know if that's what they were going for. Maybe it is. Maybe that's what they were aiming for. Maybe they wanted something that was really very different, kind of alien in the way that it's scaled. Also, no, those legs would work, right? They're sort of like, what is it, digitigrade legs. They would kind of work, I think. I don't know. There's something about them where they just don't fit properly. And I don't mean in terms of the design, necessarily. I mean physically. Literally. They don't seem to fit. At some point, my brain has decided that the scale for these is not what they're being used for, and I cannot shake that. I just can't shake it. I think I could genuinely see these next to Legions Imperialis stuff as a form of Titan more easily than I can as standing next to some Thousand Sons, which is kind of wild, because in the preview, they were stood next to some Thousand Sons. I mean, even there, even with the context of being around the Thousand Sons, the army that they are part of, I can't see them in that scale. They're just wrong. And it's bugging me so much. I've got to know, I have to know, what do you think of those? What do you think of the Sekhetar robots? Like, is it just me? It's totally fine if it is. I'm not trying to persuade you. I've been thinking about this a lot. You can probably tell I've been losing my mind. It's probably because I've been doing a lot of painting and I've had a lot of, like, background thoughts whirring away. But maybe it's how they're painted. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because there's a lot of chipping effects and stuff and it's making the scale look weird. I don't know. But I would love to know what you think. Like, do you like them? Do you like the design? Do you like the overall scaling? Do they look not quite right to your eyes? Well, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you do like them, that's fine, that's grand. I'm happy you've got something that you want. Like, don't take this as like you shouldn't be liking this. No. You like the thing you like. I'm just curious whether anyone else has been sat there going, but why don't they look right? Because for me, they really don't. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Apologies for the long delay between videos. As I said, I've been recording a load of stuff. There's some really fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks, which you will see, well, in the next couple of weeks. I don't know why I bothered to clarify that. Anyway, click all the things. I'll see you for the next one.